This is Millennial Man Motions Entertainment, LLC. I am back with my good friend and co-host Avi, and this is still the summer of 2023, and we are now finishing off our four-part Die Hard series with the classic original from 1988, Die Hard 1, which led to a lot of other movies being Die Hard on a different transportational type thing. But this is the classic number one that has still not been beat by sequels or other action movies. So let's get right into this. Avi, what are your initial opening thoughts when it comes to Die Hard 1 from 1988?
I feel very almost excited when I first saw him when I watched with my brother Harry about even after my bar mitzvah. It sounds like everything I know about it is very very Home Alone-ish, very Home Alone-ish, but it's in that big plaza.
Wait, I'm sorry. Which part of it was Home Alone-ish?
Yeah, the one man. It takes place at Christmas time, and also have problems with his family about and then the bad guys took over, unexpectedly.
Okay, yeah. So those are a few examples how it's similar in some ways to Home Alone.
Yeah, and also sometimes even quite very almost it's like a blue collar person against the upper class about it. His wife is involved about something like it's very 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 great concept about how they do that.
Well, let me comment about that. When you said the class thing, I thought between the main hero and the main bad villain, as far as classy stuff is concerned, it's interesting because John McClane kind of looks all schmaltzy and isn't wearing any footwear, and he's all schmaltzy.
Because he took off his shoes because he's feeling jet lagged about.
Right, I know, after jet lag from stuff, but once he's in the building, he's all just wearing a beat down shirt and all he's very schmaltzy when he has to go against all the baddies, whereas the guy he's facing against, Hans Gruber, the main villain, he's all charismatic and in a nice suit, but while still doing his thing in a nice suit and stuff. Where their clothing is different, but you know which person's the good guy in this, which one's bad, even though class-wise, schmaltzy clothes versus a suit, and all that kind of thing with that going. You mentioned about, what did you just mention about the wife? What did you want to say about his wife in this movie?
Yeah, sometimes it's almost it's very too problematic about between each other, how they did about his job offer to transfer to New York, and she's in LA. It's right. It's very too difficult. But you know what her other roles Bonnie Bedelia was in? She's in 1979. She plays the one about the Stephen King miniseries Salem Slot.
What was that program about?
It's based on a novel by Stephen King. It's a fictional place called Jerusalem Lot that's about to deal with vampires.
Okay, so was that one of her more known projects outside of Die Hard?
Yeah,
okay.
and also about and there's another one called The Boy Who Could Fly.
What was that one about?
It's a fantasy drama for teens.
Oh, okay. So that's two things she was in. Okay. Now, before we get too far into more Die Hard 1 talk,
and also she also plays the wife to Harrison Ford in Presumed Innocence.
Okay, I think I heard of that movie. Was that a good movie of his?
It's a good movie. It's a courtroom.
What year did that one come out?
1990, same year as Die Hard 2.
Okay. Yeah, he's in a lot of those movies. And she plays the wife of him in that movie?
Yeah, the wife to Harrison Ford.
Okay, before we get too far into Die Hard 1, I just want to tell the audience, since you mentioned about the whole the few Home Alone connections, that everybody, we're going to be doing Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and Home Alone 1, the original, both the first two Home Alones in the month of November. So check out our movie discussion podcasts on Home Alone 2 and Home Alone 1 in the month of November. That's what's happening in a few months. I want to save it for the holiday season for those two Home Alone like movies. That being said, yeah, what else do you think the audience should know about Home Alone? I mean, of Die Hard 1?
Well, do you know that one of the terrorists remember about the Hans Gruber? The one is best known quote is the quarterback is toast to the...
I'm sorry, slow down. What happened?
One of the terrorists member, if you know him, who made a good line is that the quarterback is toast to the...
I don't remember the toast thing. What do you mean?
The one member, he's from the original Top Gun.
You said somebody that plays one of the bad guys is also in Top Gun?
Yeah.
Who was this?
Well, it's sadly about he passed away. Let me check about.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure which actor you're talking about. You have to go into more detail about that. Yeah, look it up.
His name is Clarence Gilliard.
Okay, what does he look like? What else was he in?
Like he's in Die Hard. Not Die Hard. The Top Gun.
Who did he play? A good guy or a bad guy in Top Gun?
A good guy. He's a member as a trainee with the Tom Cruise and
okay. Is he?
What?
Okay. Is he white? Is he white?
Like African.
What is he? He's African?
African American.
Oh, okay. What was his cause of death? You said he passed away. What did he die from? I'm not. So he's in both Top Gun and Die Hard. Okay.
Die Hard,
was he in other stuff outside of this?
He's playing some kind of computer hacker.
All you had to say was the computer hacker. Wait, so the computer hacker's the bad guy in Die Hard?
Yeah, he's right there.
So what is he? Who is he? Who is he? Who is he exactly in Top Gun then?
He's one of the trainees. About the...
Oh, a trainee, like a trainee in Top Gun. Okay, yeah, I just remember him being the bad computer type guy in Die Hard 1.
Because he's the one that's like, the one about like just hacking a way to open...
Right, I know the hack bad guy in 1, yeah, the first one, okay. That's who you're talking... Now I know who you're talking about, okay. Now, one thing I want to say before I forget about this movie, because it came out all the way back in 1988, is that if you look at the scene where it's next to the cop going into the retail store to get some stuff as a cop guy, the cop that was in The Dad and Family Matters, next to the...
Dodson,
You say again? Yeah, that's his name, yeah. So next, somewhere around there, when it shows the outside next to the store, it shows the gas prices at being only like 70 or 80 cents a gallon, which is very, very low back then, considered to what high gas prices are now. So I always thought when the scene shows outside the 70 or 80 some gas price to be very, very interesting. Okay, so that was the tech guy, the computer guy. Now I know who you're talking about. Okay, how recently did he pass?
Since around since last year.
Okay, sometime recent then, from a year or so ago. Okay. Next thing I want to mention that I thought was interesting about this movie, outside the gas station prices being low, is that according to one of the trivias, the first gunshot is not heard until about 18 minutes into the movie.
Like, not to mention, they take down the bomb security with the flash.
That's part of it too. With the whole security thing there, that's part of it all too, yeah. But like I said, as far as classy is concerned, about how you're dressed, how you present yourself, John McClane is all like worn out, and he's shirtless, and he's feetless.
And also he got stained when he goes to the ventilation stack.
Right, exactly. Having to go into that ventilation stack, which I believe that's what I'm using as the thumbnail for this picture of this podcast. So look out for him being in the ventilation for the thumbnail picture of this. And then whereas Hans Gruber, Alan Rickman, this was actually his first big role, because he didn't do this till like his early 40s. He's all dressed in a nice suit and is charismatic on what he does. The one guy...
He's something like what you called us the term like in the 80s, like yuppie.
Yeah, yuppie-like. And then...
How do you call it? Yippee, yippee-ki-yay, mother.
You can... It's Rumble. You can say the whole thing. This is Rumble, not YouTube. You can go all the way with this one. Yeah, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. You can say...
It's it's like a, it's like almost like it's like an anti-yuppie thingy about
the yuppie thing. Also, I want to mention another character in regards to the yuppie stuff next to Hans Gruber. That one guy that was talking off too much. His too much talking got into trouble. It's the white guy that was on the drugs, the coke, where Hans Gruber just shot him to death.
Hart Broken there or something.
Is that, yeah, okay, you're better with the names there. Yeah, he killed that one white guy from talking too much about nonsense. So Hans Gruber killed both the white guy and the Asian guy, and the one Asian guy that ran the Nakatomi Plaza. But isn't there also a bad Asian that's part of the goons?
No, yeah, there's one that looks like a very big thin beard.
Yeah. That's the bad goon Asian guy.
He's in also some other roles. Right, yeah. Like we saw Big Trouble in Little China.
What else was it? Big Time in Little...
Big Trouble in Little China.
Right.
He's one of the gangster who carries a meat cleaver.
Right, exactly. Oh, so it's interesting. You got the bad black guy, computer guy tech, who you said died recently, and he was also in Top Gun. Then you got the Asian bad guy, but then you just get it's back in 1988, so it's not just white people. They got all kinds of people diverse in this, both bad and good in this movie. Then you got the other good black guy that runs the transportation for John McClane, who later in the movie tries to get the other black guy.
Right through the chauffeur.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Even do you know the same teddy bear, the giant teddy bear that John McClane rides with in the beginning? It's the same teddy bear who will appear in the next John McTiernan movie, The Hunt for Red October.
Wait, so what appeared in The Hunt for Red October?
The same teddy bear.
The same teddy bear? Oh, okay, the same... the same teddy bear that was used.
That's on the side as a gift for his wife, Christmas gifts. But this one, in the next movie by the same director who did Die Hard,
right.
In The Hunt for Red October, it's the same teddy bear Alec Baldwin in the very end of the movie. He has to bring along with him for his daughter's gift.
Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So, in reference to what you just...
And you know that it's unbelievable that The Hunt for Red October is the only movie, Tom Clancy movie, is rated PG.
Oh, it's actually just rated PG?
Yeah, not PG-13 or rated
Doesn't it have, Sean Connery? Sean Connery's supposed to be a Russian, but does a Scottish accent?
Russian captain, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even try to do a Russian accent. He was always regular Scottish voice. But speaking real quick, right? So before we get back to Die Hard, since you mentioned the Hunt for Red October, I just want to mention to the audience, if anybody in the audience has not yet seen Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, the whole prologue beginning has a Hunt for Red October like feeling to it. So for anybody that hasn't seen Mission yet, Mission 7, Dead Reckoning Part 1, look out for that whole the Hunt for Red October like opening, like way to open it. Now back to Die Hard. Similar to the daughter in the fourth movie, the wife herself, she wanted to use her maiden name instead of the John McClane, the McClane last name, yeah. Now, I know you're a big Harry Potter fan. I never really got into Harry Potter, so I kind of just only know Alan Rickman from this movie, and if anybody...
Alan Rickman, he's also the Kevin Costner as the other big main baddie, and Kevin Costner, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
I never saw that one, so he played bad also. He played a bad guy also in that Costner movie?
What? Kevin Costner.
Yeah, okay,
Robin
so he's...
Hood.
Yeah. Alan Rickman died too young. I think Alan Rickman was, in his late 60s, I think?
Late 60s from his cancer.
Yeah, wow, yeah. See, this is his first big role in his early 40s. And for many, this will be one of the most memorable movie villains in all of movie history is Hans Gruber. And that's why I liked the third movie when the director came back and had Jeremy Irons play his brother. I thought that was a good way to keep the connection going, but still tell a different story. Like I said, there was no bullet shot heard until about 18 minutes in. It's like that first 17 minutes, they're just trying to build everything up with all the other stuff going on about how John McClane gets to the building in the first place and everything else that comes with all that.
Right. So here's another one. The 30th floor of the Nakatomi building, the floor where the party is being held, particularly the giant rock with water dripping from it, is a recreation of Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water. Jackson Gilpovia is the backstory on is that on this is that
Hold on, wait a sec. What happened with the artist?
the artist is Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water. Jackson DeGovia's backstory on this is that at the time, Japanese corporations were buying up America, and that the Nakatomi Corporation had bought Falling Water and reassembled it in their own building.
Okay, so that has some sort of art connection there to it. Okay.
Also, the first time I actually know about Die Hard, because I remember at the bowling lane, there used to be a video arcade based on the movie called Die Hard.
Was it just the first movie?
It's based on the first movie.
Okay, because there's also like a video game based on the first 3 movies.
Oh, just the first movie.
Oh, okay. And how many times have you and your brother seen this movie together?
Well, I only see it once, but even sometimes I can watch a bunch of clips.
Okay, so you've seen it just the one time with your brother. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So in this movie, another thing I found interesting is that how incompetent the police and authority figures are when they're outside and John McClane's trying to get their connection, but they don't want to listen to John McClane inside.
And you know the movie is actually based on a novel by Roderick Thorpe's novel.
Yes.
Last Forever.
Yeah, each movie is based on a different novel, and originally in this first.
Rewrite from the novel into the screenplay.
Yeah. Each movie's based on a different novel, and then in this first movie, they originally wanted the singer Frank Sinatra to be the lead or something, and then after that didn't work. Like Bruce Willis was a very last choice. They wanted Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and all these other guys to play John McClane, and it was just that.
Because they know about Schwarzenegger, about his a very big guy, but they need something that finds a person who looks very blue collarish.
Right. Well, blue collar is what you mentioned, but also just calling it like a regular guy, not a guy with any special abilities, just a regular Joe Schmo, blue collar type guy, like someone that's not a Stallone or a Schwarzenegger, someone that's the everyman is what they were going for, and that's why when all these other actors said no, it ended up being Bruce Willis, which at the time, similar to the Michael Keaton casting, they didn't want John McClane to be this because he was just known for the comedy, the TV show called Moonlighting?
Moonlighting.
Yeah, so they thought, you want the Moonlighting guy to be John McClane, but then the rest...
Also, the other roles he said is one before pre-Die Hard is one with Kim Basinger, called Blind Date.
I think I heard of that thing too, yeah. Yeah. So, and then when he ended up being cast and the movie came out, it ended up being like, no one else could be John McClane except Bruce Willis.
Yeah. And everyone knows that quote.
Which quote?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's it. You can say that as many times as you want on this one. I love it. All right, yeah, it's a signature line, which I did not like while watching the theatrical PG-13 cut of Live Free or Die Hard 4.0 with my dad back in the summer of 2007 when they're in that warehouse and he's next to that uninspiring villain Timothy. Oh, the guy whatever that guy's name that's in all this other stuff. Yeah, when they have the shot to shoot him and he's like yippee-ki-yay and they just bleep that last part. But yes, the first 3 movies R-rated and have all the language, violence. Yeah, this movie, like the action, when it starts, the action doesn't let up. Like after that like build up opening, they have the way he takes down all the goons and then at the end taking out Hans Gruber, it's just really memorable. And I think the way that Hans Gruber gets taken out at the end of the movie, I think probably inspired the ending of the original dark, gritty, awesome Turtles 1 movie, which we'll be getting to soon with this, with the Shredder being off the building. Shredder being off the building like that. It's similar because in both movies the main villain gets falling down from a far distance. So I think that the Turtles 1 Shredder ending was inspired by possibly Die Hard. And you said, what were a few different Home Alone connections again for all that?
By the way, it's also about Home Alone. Home Alone is produced by John Hughes. But you know that also speaking of John Hughes, in Die Hard, there's one actor from the John Hughes classic is Paul Gleason.
Paul Gleason is in Die Hard, but what else did you say he's in?
The Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah, he's in The Breakfast Club also. Yeah.
And also Paul Gleason and producer Joel Silver, who have both worked with the late writer-director John Hughes. Hughes directed Gleason in Breakfast Club, and She's Having a Baby. Silver had produced Weird Science, which John Hughes wrote and directed.
I did not see the movie She's Having a Baby, but I believe I saw the other ones. Breakfast Club was a really well done movie, and I saw bits and pieces of Weird Science, but I'm not really familiar with the She's Having a Baby movie.
Yeah, because it's Kevin Bacon. It started with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, yeah, I never saw that one. I never saw that movie. Another person outside of the Gleason guy that I want to mention also as part of the Authority stuff ends up being the main bad guy in the 16th James Bond entry, License to Kill.
Even he's also in the Goonies.
I know. He's also in the Goonies. He's in the Goonies 85 and License to Kill 89. Yes.
Robert Davi, he's in it.
Yes, Robert Davi's who I'm talking about there. And if you guys want to catch our earlier original audio-only Spotify podcasts, we talk about the Goonies in one of our earlier podcasts. If you want to check that out, it's in the podcasting channel catalog of Spotify. If you want to see us talk about the Goonies, unfortunately, the director, Richard Donner has passed away, and very disrespectfully at the end of The Flash, or as like how Screen Junkies like to call it, The Flop, they show a dead Christopher Reeves and in the 1984 Supergirl inside that whole end of Flash of the movie where they just try to bring back a whole bunch of dead characters, including Adam West. So The Flash was not a very good movie, and I guess it's just really kind of just being rebooted by James Gunn.
Right. And also another thing about I was gonna say about
yeah, what is it? Sure, tell us.
Oh, hold on a sec.
Okay.
You know about Richard Donner also directed Bruce Willis in Richard Donner's last movie called 16 Blocks.
Oh yeah, 16 Blocks was Bruce Willis. What was that? His last main movie that he directed?
No, the Richard Donner's last directorial effort.
Yeah, Richard Donner's last directed effort was 16 Blocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see that movie?
I saw parts of it. And probably not the whole thing, but yeah, I guess that was his last movie there. And then what did he before 16 Blocks? Did he do the Time movie or something?
Timeline.
Yeah, Timeline. That's what I thought. So the last two movies were Timeline and 16 Blocks. Yeah. Right. It's a shame. It's a shame he didn't live, because I think if he stayed alive, they were possibly trying to work on a.
And also, producer Joel Silver almost offered him Richard Donner to direct the Die Hard.
Oh, okay. Well, it ended up. I think the right choice was John McTiernan for that. But what I wanted to say was, had Richard Donner lived a little bit longer, there was a possibility that they would have put out a Lethal Weapon 5. A fifth Lethal Weapon. For any Christian religious people, I believe sometime next year or so, Mel Gibson will be coming out with a sequel to The Passion of the Christ. And Joe Silver, you mentioned Joe Silver. I just know that he works with Warner Brothers on the Matrix and Matrix sequels.
And Sherlock Holmes, Kiss Kiss. Bang,
oh, sure, all that other stuff too. Sherlock Holmes. The only thing stopping a third one from that is Robert Downey Jr., but he does have an important role for people that like Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer.
Right. The centerfold that John McClane sees and ultimately uses as a point of reference while navigating his way from the elevator shaft to the air vents is that of Playboy Playmate Pamela Stein, November 1987. Another Playboy Playmate, May 1982 star, Kim Allen, has a small role.
Hold on. You're talking too fast. Slowly say the first Playboy Playmate and then the second one. Who was the first one again?
The centerfold that John McClane sees and ultimately uses as a point of reference while navigating his way from the elevator shaft to the air vents is that of the Playboy Playmate Pamela Stein.
Oh, Pamela Stein. Okay.
Another Playboy Playmate, May 1982 star Kim Allen, has a small role in the picture as a hostage. It was originally discovered by the terrorists having sex with another partygoer, and the third, July 1988 Playboy Playmate of the Month, Terry Lynn Dawes, plays a woman at the airport who runs past McClane to hug another arriving passenger.
I think I know somewhat about the second and third one you mentioned, but that first name I want to look up later. Who is the name of the first woman?
Pamela Stein.
All right, I'm going to look up Pamela Stein later for myself to see what she was about.
When he goes out of the elevator, he pressed the naked picture about this.
No, I know what you're talking about. I know some of the women were described in the second and third things you were saying, but just wasn't too familiar with the first woman.
Diana James, who played a dispatch supervisor in the film, appeared in Die Hard 2 as a stewardess aboard Holly's flight.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to look up Pamela Stein later. What else do you think the audience should know about Die Hard 1 that we haven't yet already mentioned?
William Atherton's back. It's back from the Ghostbusters.
Say what about Ghostbusters?
Yeah, William Atherton plays the reporter.
Yeah, the reporter guy is also in what, the original Ghostbusters?
The first Ghostbusters.
Yeah, the first Ghostbusters. That's what he's also in. Yeah.
And also about there's all connection about from the Die Hard Ghostbusters.
What else you got about Ghostbusters?
Hold on, let me try and find in the trivia another trivia. Rick Ducommun, who plays a worker in the manhole, who radios to shut the power down, also played a man who has his pool set on fire and gets shot by Milo in The Last Boy Scouts. Plus Small Walls and Loaded Weapon 1 and Moonlighting, also starring Bruce Willis. He also appears in a helicopter scene in Hunt for Red October, another John McTiernan movie.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ghostbusters. Who's this guy about now?
I'm looking for it.
Okay. You were mentioning other stuff then. Oh, well, okay.
By the way, do you know who does the cinematography for the Die Hard?
Yeah, tell us who the cinematographer is.
John DeBow, who later becomes the best-known director of the best action movie in the 90s, is Speed.
Oh, nice.
It's like Die Hard scenario, but on the bus.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I did enjoy Speed. So if you want to maybe do when I get back from my trip, we could possibly do Speed, because that was an entertaining movie. Could possibly do Speed as one of the movies. So you were talking about other actors related to other stuff before trying to find about Ghostbusters?
Alright, I was just looking for, and this movie is about that movie is almost like 131 minutes long.
Which one?
Die Hard.
Oh yeah, the first one is about that time length. Yeah. Once the action starts, it's very, very accelerating, and like it had the tagline about something about stories or something.
Oh yeah, Bruce Willis and Demi Moore tied a knot at the Golden Nugget Hotel in Las Vegas during this shoot. Moore having recently broken her engagement to Emilio Estevez.
Okay.
Religion presided over the ceremony, and former Brad Pack member Ali Sheedy was a bridesmaid.
Oh, right. Yeah, Breakfast Club was a good movie with all that stuff going on. I want to mention another...
Oh, yeah, what?
I wanted to mention another scene that we haven't yet gotten to yet about this movie that I always find very engaging and interesting, and that's the scene where John McClane meets Hans Gruber for the first time, and Hans Gruber is pretending to be one of the hostages using a fake accent, but where Hans Gruber, when John McClane gives him his gun to play with, Hans Gruber stupidly thinks that it's loaded when obviously John McClane took the bullets out of it.
But do the hard way.
Yeah.
It's often said that Bruce Willis' lines during the scene when he pulls the glass out of his feet were ad-libbed.
Okay, yeah.
It is said that upon learning this, Terry Gilliam cast Willis as a lead in 12 Monkeys. However, when comparing to the original script, it appears that Willis only varies very slightly from the original written dialogue.
What happened with the dialogue?
12 Monkeys, when he pulls out glass out of his feet.
Oh, something similar happened in 12 Monkeys?
Yeah, it might say they have to rewrite that from the 12 Monkeys.
Okay.
And so also about and also, a good thing about when he took off his boots off, the shoes off of when he got to Nakatomi Plaza, It's easy enough that you don't want to create the loud step noise and don't let the terrorists know where you are.
What about this noise?
Footstep.
Yeah, what happened with the footsteps?
In case shoes on, it might be very bad about like it might hurt it cause the steps, it might cause the terrorists not hurt something where they watch out from behind.
Oh, yeah. Well, eventually the bad guys hurt him a little bit, and that's where there was lots of shootings. And the one henchman, he was trying to get revenge because his brother got
killed about it.
Yeah,
I got
right.
machine guns.
Yeah. All that stuff was so violent. Yeah.
And Roger Ebert, the film critic, was one of the few critics to give this a negative review. The main reason he did this was because he hated the character Chief Dwayne Robinson. He said the character was unnecessary, useless, dumb, and he prevented the movie from working.
Which character did he not like?
Dwayne Robinson. Paul Gleason.
Oh, Paul Gleason's character. Okay. And did it say anything about what Siskel said about it?
He said the character was unnecessary.
No, you said that's Ebert. That's Ebert. But what did his movie critic partner say?
Gene Siskel?
Yeah, Gene Siskel.
He gave a
okay.
thumbs up.
Oh, so one was a thumbs up and one was a thumbs down for one reason. Okay.
Well, the Ebert says he did like the sequels and later changed his opinion.
Oh, okay.
And 20th Century Fox formally admitted that this film is a Christmas movie, after saying that it's the greatest Christmas story ever told. New trailer to mark the 30th anniversary of the film's release. However, the debate on whether it's a Christmas movie or not among fans continues to this day.
Yeah, most people say it's a Christmas movie. Yeah, I just didn't realize that there were so many connections to Home Alone.
Yeah, and also from the same studio.
Right, the same studio at the time, 20th Century Fox, which I think now 20th Century Fox now I guess is bought by Disney.
Yeah. And also, do you know that, the original release poster for the film did not feature Bruce Willis like this. Just the building pre-release promo posters did show Willis. The producers originally thought it might deter Bruce Willis fans from seeing the movie. Posters were later altered after the early box office success. Yeah, like I said before, Bruce Willis was none of their first choices. So that's why they were skeptical about Bruce Willis being the part. But this is probably his most likely his most known part that he's ever done. Oh, yeah.
Any other we're already at the 32-minute mark. Is there any other trivia or quotes that you think should be mentioned?
Right. At the suggestion of director John McTiernan, Ludwig van Beethoven, Ode to Joy, 9th Symphony, 4th Movement, is the musical theme of the terrorists.
Yes.
Hans Gruber, the terrorist leader, even hums it at one point in the movie while he is on the elevator with Mr. Takagi. Film composer Michael Kamen at first thought it was a sacrilege to use Beethoven in the action movie. Telling McTiernan, make a mincemeat out of Wagner or Strauss for you, but why Beethoven? McTiernan replied that Ode to Joy had been a theme of the ultra-violence in Stanley Kubrick, A Clockwork Orange. Michael Kamen, a Kubrick fan, then agreed.
A Clockwork Orange is a very, very disturbing movie, and I did do a podcast about it in my Spotify podcast in the August 2022 section of my 5-part depressing movie series. So if anybody wants to get my thoughts and opinions on Clockwork Orange, it's in that section. But I think the music of the classical for Clockwork Orange was very bad, disturbing in all the worst ways. But I think that this, for Hans Gruber and the terrorists, I think this song is the first song I think of in anything related to Die Hard. And I'm just going to say it real quick because I just love it so much. Anyway, I'm done for that music. No more torturing people. What else do you think?
The main henchman about the one who was the last one to get shot by Powell, because even it's played by Alexander Godunov. Starred in that the second movie that Alexander Godunov starred in it that ends with Ludwig van Beethoven Ode to Joy.
Oh, nice.
The first was The Money Pit.
What happened with the Money Pit? What's about the Money Pit?
That's the one with Tom Hanks and about to be building a house. The movie ends with the Beethoven Ode to Joy.
Also with that. Okay, nice. Yeah. So this movie itself, Die Hard, it's got a really tight-knit story inside that Nakatomi building. It's got really well-done action. It's got a good lead hero, a good, really bad villain in Hans Gruber and his goons and stuff. And the really small, low gas prices in that outside gas price scene. And both the good guys and bad guys are both white, black, Asian. They keep all the diversal stuff on both the good and bad guys in this movie. And if anybody...
What I like about how you take out the terrorists by combining the C4 explosion and the computer and the chair. It says Geronimo, motherfucker.
Okay, that happened with that. Someone said that. Who said? Which character said that?
Bruce Willis.
Oh, Bruce Willis also says what you just said there in reference to some explosive scene. Nice.
Yeah. Let's see. Here's about Hart Bachner, who plays Harry Ellis. Is the son of actor Lloyd Bachner, who co-stars with Frank Sinatra in The Detective, based on a novel by author Roderick Thorpe. This film is based on the Thorpe's novel Nothing Lasts Forever, the sequel to The Detective. Because he has starred in a big screen adaptation of Detective, Frank Sinatra may have been offered a role in the sequel.
That's what I was saying earlier with Frank Sinatra. They wanted him to be a part of this one instead. And then when Frank Sinatra wasn't a part of it, they wanted Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and all these other actors guys.
And Richard Gere.
And Richard Gere also included. And Richard Gere.
But
it was
Albert, Richard Gere and Bruce Willis worked together in The Jackal.
Right, in the Jackal movie, which I believe was like 97 or 98.
Yeah.
Yeah, so literally speaking, Bruce Willis was the last possible actor chosen, but once he was in this movie, he's going to be forever remembered as John McClane. But the least said about Die Hard 5, the fifth Die Hard, the better. That was a really bad way to end the series. What was your favorite of the sequels, of Die Hard sequels?
The one with the cyber hacking.
Cyber hacking is Live Free, Die Hard 4.0. So, yeah, that was a good one. That was good.
The greatest scene ever about the Die Hard, the first one, is about how he escaped the explosion of the rooftop to warn the hostages so that the top of the building might be exploded.
Right.
So he's tied up with a fire hose and he jumps away.
Right, yeah. To tell them that was a very memorable scene. Very, very tough. Probably was done by a stunt double, because regular actors don't do that kind of stuff, but the stunt double did a great job, and that was a really memorable scene, of course. I think the whole movie, generally speaking, is very memorable. It's one of the top action thrillers of all time, and has one of the most memorable villains in Hans Gruber. We are now almost 38 minutes. Also,
Alan Rickman, other roles he's in, there's the one called Galaxy Quest.
Oh yeah, I know he was in Galaxy Quest, yeah. He was in Galaxy Quest. That was 99. I remember that too. And I never really got into Harry Potter, which is why on the podcast I had you have 2 episodes devoted to Harry Potter, part 1 and part 2. So
he's also in the Tim Burton movie called the other two Tim Burton movie called Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Oh, who did he play? Who did he play in Sweeney Todd?
A judge.
Okay, yeah. Did you say Tim Burton movie for that?
Yeah.
Oh, for Sweeney Todd, that was 07, yeah. So
and also in Alice in Wonderland, also by Tim Burton.
Who? That Alan Rickman was in Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, as the voice of Caterpillar.
Oh, okay, he's also in that one too as well. Just to keep this current for everybody, since he mentioned the Sweeney Todd Tim Burton movie, Tim Burton's big first movie had Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, who is sadly no longer with us. Pee Wee Herman, who I also mostly remember as the dad of 2 Penguins, Batman Returns, and the Gotham Show. So I just want to give us now a rest in peace and a rest in power to Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens. He created that character in the late 70s, and only he can be Pee Wee Herman, who we all grew up with in the 80s and 90s, if we're old enough for this one. So again, may Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens be well. And all right, we're at 39 minutes here in, almost 40. At this point, what are your final thoughts and opinions on Die Hard 1 and how?
If it's a Christmas time,
it's very much questioned. Is this a Christmas movie? Is this not a Christmas movie? I think you're on the Christmas camp that it is a Christmas movie.
even I don't, because we're Jewish, we don't celebrate Christmas. Like, despite all that, Christmas is very too capitalism.
Yeah, it's very capitalism, and the kids about Christmas, they want gifts, and Hanukkah, which is around the same time for Jewish people. The Christian kids get gifts, but Hanukkah isn't really about gifts. So the Jewish kids only wanted gifts because all the Christian Christmas kids are getting gifts.
Yeah, because even what could happen if they could do if they make action movie during Hanukkah is by doing fighting against 8 nights.
What about the 8 nights part?
8 nights of action.
Oh. I don't know which thing you're saying. You mean 8? Are you talking about the Adam Sandler movie or something else?
No, I meant if there's going to be action movies about.
Oh, there should. You said there should be an action movie about
related with the holidays.
About
Christmas.
Oh, Chris.
Like Halloween or like Thanksgiving. Or
I don't know. I mean, there's different holiday movies of all different kinds, but are you talking about like action holiday movies?
Action holidays movies.
Hey, write a script. Send it to Hollywood. They'll have to think about it over their big writer's strike.
How about you can't do like a Passover thing about the.
No, there hasn't been Passover yet. No, unfortunately, there hasn't been a Passover movie yet. But in 2003, there was a hilarious Hanukkah Christmas movie that came out with Adam Goldberg. If anybody never checked it out, it's called The Hebrew Hammer. So anybody who hasn't checked out the hilarious comedy with Adam Goldberg, which unfortunately never got a sequel, catch The Hebrew Hammer from 2003. It originally aired on Comedy Central. We are now 41 minutes in, so your rest of your final thoughts and opinions of Die Hard, and also how you would grade this movie.
Well, grade this movie A.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an A also. It gets an A for me, an A or a 9 out of 10. I'll give it.
I gotta tell you something. There's another about that. I found out who's a supporting villain in Die Hard besides main henchman. There's another one that got shot by Bruce Willis. The one that got taped behind the back about.
What's that guy's name?
He's the one that plays in Vigo the Carpathian in Ghostbusters 2.
Who did he play in Ghostbusters 2?
Vigo.
That guy was actually the Vigo in that movie?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
A year after.
A year after, I didn't even know. Okay, so that's what he was. That with another Ghostbusters connection.
Wilhelm von Homburg.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that was for that thing also. So there's another Ghostbusters like connection there.
Even though he is actually a boxer from German.
Right. Now I think from things I've seen of Bruce Willis talk, Bruce Willis himself says that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. So I guess in Bruce Willis's opinion, when he was still well health-wise, Bruce Willis himself, I guess jokingly says that it's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, because what's next? Can they do something about even for the fourth Die Hard, it takes place during 4th of July.
Yes, the fourth movie that you like is your favorite of the sequels does take place around the 4th of July, you said, over a few different days. Instead of a night, it's over a few different days, yes. If anybody hasn't yet checked it out, check out our Die Hard 4.0 Live for Your Die Hard discussion, which did very well with all the views, and thank you to whoever the 5 likes were on that one.
Alright,
Yeah. What's that?
I forgot what you say, something about I want to check out memorable quotes.
Yeah, let's do some quick memorable quotes, sure.
Alright, let me try to get it.
Everybody, in this last portion of the movie discussion, Avi now is going to perform some memorable quotes from Die Hard 1.
Okay, as McClane tries to call up the police, the supervisor says, "Attention, whoever you are, this channel is reserved for emergency calls only." No fucking shit, Lenny. Does it sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
Right, exactly, yeah. Right, go on. That's great.
Hans Gruber. Hans Radio turns on. I thought I told all of you I want radio silence until further. Ooh, I'm very sorry, Hans. I didn't get that message. Maybe you should have put it on the bulletin board. I figure since I waxed Tony and Marco and his friend here, I figure you and Carl and Franco might be a little lonely, so I wanted to give you a call. how does he know so much about the silence call with a gesture? That's very kind of you. I assume you are our mysterious party chaser. You are most troublesome for security guards. Sorry, Hans, wrong guess. Would you like to go for double jeopardy where the scores can really change? Speaking to dead man about cigarettes. Whoa, these are very bad for you. Who are you then? Just a fly in the ointment, Hans. The monkey and the wrench, the pain in the ass.
Nice. Very good. Very great. Any other quotes?
Joseph Takagi, you want money? What kind of terrorists are you? Who said we are terrorists?
Right, who says we're a terrorist?
Another actress, there's another actress you saw about it. The actress' name is Mary Ellen Trainor. Remember that in the Goonies she plays Mikey's mother.
Yeah.
She also plays a reporter in that movie, in the Die Hard. Once again, she plays the same character in Die Hard in the movie with Denzel Washington. It's produced by Joel Silver called Ricochet.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about all that stuff, but I do want to look up that first Playboy Playmate that you mentioned. What was the name again?
The movie I was telling you about?
No, the first Playboy woman.
The first Playboy.
You said it was. I know where the second and third were kind of in stuff, but what was the third one? P something.
The poster or the.
No, yeah, the poster. The first woman before the second and third movie. Second and third girl.
Pamela Stein.
Pamela Stein. I'll look out Pamela Stein later. Okay, very good. I'll look up Pamela Stein. Okay, so you did some of the quotes. Any more quotes before we close out?
Yeah. The quarterback is toast.
Quarterback is toast. Okay.
On says about the following people are to be released from their captors. In Northern Ireland, the 7 members of the New Provo Front, the front. In Canada, the 5 imprisoned leaders of the Liberté de Quebec, in Sri Lanka, the 9 members of Asia Dawn movement. What the? Listening on the radio, what the fuck? Asia Dawn covers the radio. I read about them in Time magazine. So he wants to release all the prisoners and other terrorists.
Oh yeah. In the magazine with that. Nice. Yeah, like I said, this movie is very entertaining. I'm sure anybody watching this probably has already seen the movie, but it's definitely recommended for anybody who hasn't yet seen it. We both give it an A. I give it an A and a 9 out of 10.
Like I said, the greatest villain's death scene is Hans Gruber falling down the building in slow motion. And then the police chief, that Dwayne Johnson, I hope it's not another hostage.
I hope it's not another hostage, yeah.
That's what that score is, stringy score. Dun, dun, dun.
Right, exactly. Also, the thing about him falling is that he wasn't told how far he had to fall in the actual action of it, so they didn't tell him. They stopped at 2 instead of 3, and that gave him a more effective acting reaction of when he actually fell from the thing for that. So, very, very interesting how they had him fall in a way that got him really scared for how it ended up being the reaction of it all.
Yeah, do you know other roles of Paul Gleason in besides Breakfast Club and Die Hard? Do you know he's in a TV film in the 80s related to Star Wars, Ewoks: The Battle for Endor?
I didn't follow that Star Wars thing, so I'm not really sure.
A TV film type.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that one at all, but okay. All right, we're already 48 minutes in. This is going to be our longest of all the Die Hard discussions. So let me see. Let me start to conclude some concluding lines for us here. Everybody support your local movie theater throughout the decade of the 2030s, which is just 7 years away. To support your local movie theater on the big silver...
Save the DVD.
I'll get to the DVD part in a sec. I talk about that in regards to streaming. Support your local movie theater on the big silver screen to see movies with a community of strangers, to see movies like Die Hard, Live Free or Die Hard, Mission Impossible 7, John Wick Chapter 4, God willing, Deadpool 3 next year. All kinds of stuff that can only be seen with a really fun way with a community of strangers on the big silver screen in the picture and sound possible. Why? Because streaming at home is just not the same thing at all. And watch DVDs and Blu-rays because they're way more effective with special features when streaming can act up on you. When streaming on the streamings can act up online, have your offline based physical media of DVDs and Blu-ray instead of streaming. Oh yes. We will see you next week with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 from 1993. I can't wait to hear Avi's thoughts and opinions on the third early live-action Turtles movies, followed by Turtles 2 and Turtles 1, and possibly when I get back from my trip, we could possibly do Speed 1994, since I enjoyed Speed 94 as well. So, you want to wave goodbye now to the audience?
Well, Happy Christmas, happy early Christmas, everyone, and make sure about keep feet warm up.
Yes, everybody, you can watch this again during Christmas time if you want. All right, cool.
Better than watching Home Alone. Huh?
Oh, no, it could be a double feature. It could be Die Hard and Home Alone back to back. Everybody, we're doing Home Alone 1 and 2 in November. All right, cool. We'll see you next week for Turtles.
And also, and there's a costume design for the...
Who? Who's the costume design?
It's her name is like but she's the same costume. She's the same costume design from the Breakfast Club and the Ferris Bueller's Day Off and the Untouchables. And she also does a costume design of Pretty Woman.
Okay, Breakfast Club '85. That was the year I was born. Breakfast Club was definitely Breakfast Club was really a well done movie. And then after Breakfast Club, you mentioned. Yeah, Ferris Bueller has that very quotable line, if you don't stop and look around for a while or something. I'm paraphrasing. If you don't stop and look around for a while, you might miss something.
And she also did like the Untouchables.
And the Untouchables, you said after those first two.
Her name is Marilyn Vance.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Well, you could maybe mention her.
It looks like the best costume everyone could wear is Bruce Willis with the undershirts.
Oh, okay. You can mention, I guess, more about costume designers in further movies, but we're already 51, almost 52 minutes in. So at this point, I hope you guys all enjoyed our discussion of Die Hard, and I hope you all come back next week for our Turtles discussion and possibly Speed and Home Alone.
Right.
All right, very cool. Everybody dance and have a good time. This is friend and co-host Avi and Millennial Man Motions Entertainment LLC signing out till Turtles 3 next week.